Welcome back, Rebels. You are tuned in to Financial Rebellion, the podcast to help ignite the fire of innovation and entrepreneurship in each of you. I'm your host, Todd Romer, here to help you turn your passion into profit or transform a brilliant idea into a booming business. Each week, we explore actionable strategies, insightful tips, and inspiring stories of those who are actually doing it. We are all about helping you create and elevate your own new revenue streams. So let's get rebellious and make those dreams a lucrative reality for you. Now let's jump into this week's episode of Financial Rebellion. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Financial Rebellion, where we help young people rebel and challenge traditional financial norms and certainly talk about side hustles, entrepreneurship, and so much more. We are sponsored by Acorns, a fantastic sponsor to help people like you begin their investing journey with as little as $5 a week or $5 a month. And if you can do more with Acorns, I would invest more. That's a great sponsor of ours, as well as Kemba Credit Union, based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Alabama Credit Union in several markets in Alabama, including Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, and other towns in Alabama as well. Excited to have Sincere Townsend on Financial Rebellion's podcast this week. And Sincere and I have just met just a week ago, really, not in person yet. My first time seeing you, Sincere, on camera. And I'm literally in the back of an Uber going to the airport last week as we were connected by a mutual friend. And your story sounds like a good one. And I would love to, again, we're going to hear a lot from you, and we can't wait. So welcome, Sincere, to the Financial Rebellion podcast.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's start with just tell us where you grew up, and then I'm going to talk to you about your business, but give me some upbringing stories of yourself, and then we'll get into your business and helping others learn what you do and get inspired by that as well.
Yeah, so I'm from the south side of Chicago, also known as the Morgan Park area. I've been in Chicago, born and raised for 22 years now, and currently I'm out in Phoenix, Arizona, which is dope. So yeah, that's pretty much where I came from.
And this is being recorded in late August, so you are in the heat of all heat in Phoenix, Arizona, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It had got up to like 130 the other day, and I was just like, this is different.
Yeah,
Like
that's yeah.
it's totally
Well, it's a dry heat, so which is comical in and of itself, but you hear, but it doesn't matter. It's super hot in August.
yeah.
Okay, so South Side of Chicago, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit after you tell us about your business, because that's considered one of the most rough areas in the country, and that was part of your story. But I want to save that for a little bit later. Tell us about your business, Sincere, and also you are how old?
I am now 22 years old. Just
You're
turned 22.
22. Okay,
Mhm.
fantastic. All right, so tell us about your business. What do you do?
All right, so I'm a graphic designer. Everything started on my phone, but as I've grown to age and I went off to college, I had to take it to a more professional level, which is Photoshop and the whole Adobe Creative Suite. So I've been designing professionally for the past 8.5 years now, and I've made a lot of
Wow.
success. I've done a lot of great things for a lot of big artists and big corporations, and I just graduated with my undergrad and a Bachelor of Arts, and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree at ASU.
Fantastic. Where did you graduate your undergrad?
Yeah, Columbia College, Chicago.
Fantastic. And you said you're 22, and you said you've been doing graphic design since you were, so that's 8, if my math is correct. That's 14-ish years old.
Since I was about 14, started taking it very serious.
Wow. And your company's called, help me out, Twino?
Twinno
Twinno.
Graphics. Twinno Graphics,
See,
yes.
I need your help. Twinno Graphics.
Mhm.
Tell us about what happened during COVID with you. Uh, Again, and then the background of living in South Side of Chicago. You have some siblings as well, right?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of 6 siblings. We've all grew up in the same household. Um, just so basically, during COVID, I had came to be crippled, and I was crippled from 2020 until about 2023. And the reason of this is coming up in the South Side of Chicago, we tend to kind of brush off some of the negative things we have going on or the negative things or environment around us so that we can survive and so that it doesn't truly beat us down. So around 2020 during COVID, we all are stuck in the house and we have no choice but to like deal with our feelings and deal with our emotions and deal with the world that's around us and how it's so fastly changing. And at that time, a lot of my trauma that I didn't know I had at the moment had kind of like broke my body down and caused my legs to just give out all the way. And yeah, so during that time, I wanted to go to college in North Carolina and I wanted to pursue kinesiology. But I couldn't move around. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So that kind of felt a little long winded. So instead, I had to go with graphic design. The only thing I knew, the only thing that I could do at home at the time, and the only thing that I really had a pure interest in outside of sports.
So when you say you were crippled, so basically from like your waist down, you couldn't really function your legs, you couldn't walk much at all?
Yeah, I
Wow,
couldn't do anything. I couldn't really get out the bed, couldn't really go anywhere without a wheelchair.
man. So were you able to see any doctors about what their opinion was going on, what was happening with you as well?
Yeah, so initially the doctors didn't have any idea what was going on. They thought that maybe it could have been like I don't know, a car accident. They didn't know. They thought it was a lot of sports trauma or things of that nature. But after I attended Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, one of the most prestigious rehab centers in America actually, they helped me realize that a lot of it was like neurological neurology and like just a mental thing. So once that came about and we did a deep dive on it and it's called functional neurological disorder. It's a s- fairly new term for the condition. And once people found out about it and the doctors got more aware of it, they came to the realization that a lot of people during COVID and even younger than me are going through this.
Man,
Yeah.
um, so we all can go back to that time of COVID. It was a wild time in America and the world, right? With everything that was happening and stuck in houses, things we could or couldn't do. And here you are, and again in South Side Chicago, where I bet it was very common to hear gunshots throughout the day. Is that a picture that I'm painting that's accurate?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you hear it all. The gunshots, the police, the screaming, brutality, everything. Like it can be called a war zone at times. And I definitely grew up and grew out of it.
Yeah. Well, everyone has a story, right? No one's story is better or worse than anyone else's, but I love how you sound like you have an amazing family, supportive family, mother and father, and your siblings, and uh, how they tried to do whatever they could to figure out what was going on. But as you're just a kid, and you're 22, it's basically you're an older kid, if you will, right? And so we hold all this stuff inside. We're kind of trying to figure out what is truly going on around me. But you persevered. God is good. That's fun. To bring you to a place of healing and got the diagnosis, if you will. And I'm sure that's more common now than most people think. So then let's get back to your business. You've got you were going to go into kinesiology and you're like, well, I'm going to I can't really move, can't really do much. So I'm going to obviously use a computer. I can sit at a desk. I can use my phone or laptop or whatever to start learning. So tell us more about that. How did you start becoming confident that, hey, I kind of like this skill set and I'm growing in it?
Yeah, so it all started off with my peers around me. So from friends to family, making social gathering flyers or having to make music covers for my friends that are artists, or helping either my family or friends that want to start a clothing line with their designs and kind of like bringing some of their visions to life. And a lot of times, everybody would come back to me time and time again saying, "Hey, you really helped me accomplish my vision that I had that they didn't think was even possible. They just had like the thought in their head, and I was able to put it into fruition." So that's really kind of what made me feel like, "Hey, I can do this. I could try it, and I could be efficient at it." So I remember a moment in the hospital actually. I was just on my iPad, bored, doodling, and a friend of mine told me that a big artist had wanted a cover art, which is also known as like a music artwork. So I was just like, I don't have nothing else to do. Let me just try it. I tried it. He showed it to his friend and it got approved. And that's when I had my first like big, break in the business actually. And it was pretty dope.
That's fantastic, Sincere. And now you've gone on to work. Tell us some of your clients that you do graphic design work for. It's a pretty cool list.
Yeah, so I have Alamo Records under my belt, NBA, WNBA, Zoomies, Dickies, um, and we could go all day. It's a lot.
That's fantastic. That is
Yeah.
fantastic. Um, so I'm gonna you tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like you were so young, and people who are listening to this podcast, Financial Rebellion, kind of are in that younger demographic. And a recent guest that I had, in fact, he was my oldest son, talked about, he didn't have much fear because he was so young. And there was like, well, what if it goes wrong? I'm not losing anything. Did you kind of have a similar feeling like, okay, well, failure is really not a big deal because I don't have a lot to risk? Is that your sentiment too when you were starting out and trying to get clients?
Yeah, quite honestly, and it also kinda ties into, like, my upbringing as well. So, everything and everybody around me, just more so in my community, failure was a thing that was, like, non-existent because it's like we're already at the bottom. So, at the bottom, the only thing to do is go up and go to the top. And I felt like for me personally, failure just wasn't an option. You just had to make do with what you got. And that's exactly what I did.
So that's fantastic, man. That's great. Um, Any time, any period during that time where you had a little bit of doubt or fear, it comes into every human being. So you can't say you're Superman and have had zero fear. But tell me a little bit of doubt that came in or fear about something as you were growing this business. And then what did you do to counter that false evidence appearing real? Again, that acronym we like to use for fear.
Yeah, so I think it's about like my first or second year in college. So I probably went like a whole year with no clients, no like personal work, no freelance work, anything. And I was kind of like, what's going on? Like, should I stop doing this? Should I try to find something else? Should I try to go work like a 9 to 5 or something? I was just all over the place. But something in me just told me to keep working it and stay focused on like what's for me. So I would just make personal designs. I would just make stuff for myself. I would make clothing designs for myself. Just kind of like branding myself during that moment. And, throughout the process, I got better. I learned more things and came knowledgeable of my design style through that
Yeah.
period of time. So that's really kind of the only thing that got me through is just working for myself and building and designing for myself instead of thinking that I can only be successful by doing it for others.
Yeah, that's fantastic, right? You just kept going. And how did you advance your skill set? Right, you learned Adobe, I think you said, some other software programs. Was that tutorials? Tell me how you kind of learned how to do certain things within graphic design.
So as I mentioned, it all started on my phone. So it's an app called PixArt that I was using very heavily,
How
and
do you
it
spell
just
Pixart?
PICSART.
PICS. Okay.
Yeah, so I was on there all the time, and I learned a lot of stuff about like hues and saturations and brightness and contrast and things of that nature. So once I got into Photoshop on a professional level, more so like once school started in college, I had
Yeah.
to just like take what I knew and apply it to this new program and just figure it out. So not really too many YouTube tutorials because they're either so fast paced that I can't keep up or it's just too slow. So during college, I had certain classes and professors come and help me and really just tell me like what I'm doing right or wrong and building from what they knew visually and taking it in my own way and using it like that. So I feel like that's kind of how I perfected my craft is just through trial and error.
Isn't that how any entrepreneur really has done it?
Yeah.
There's no secret sauce in starting a side
None.
hustle, right? In the year 2025, there's no true secret sauce except literally, sweep away doubt when it comes in,
Yeah.
push away fear, and then push away the lies that come in. I bet from time to time, at least it does for all of us, including myself in the past. Like, I don't know if I'm smart enough to do this, or I don't know if I have what it takes. And no one's ever said that to me. It's just my own being. We all have it from time to time. You just kept going. And then from what I'm hearing, you also reached out to other people, professors or teachers to say, "Hey, can you take a look at this?" And so you went to other people, right? To kind of be some of your support too, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, without some of those professors telling me what I did wrong or critiquing my work to tell me what I did better, I would have been pretty stagnant. I wouldn't have known what to do different or what to change or how to just make something so small be so big in the quickest way.
That's fantastic. And you're making money now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The way you nodded your head in a very nice humble smile, by the way. That is great. I love that, right? Fantastic. And now you left Chicago after undergrad. You're in Phoenix. You're going to Arizona State University for kind of like a grad program for design. That is just a great story for where you were at or whatever you were dealing with in South Side Chicago. Again, everyone knows around the country that's just a tough area. So it is fun how, again, part of what we do at Financial Rebellion and what I've done for many, many years, I would be remiss not to say this. And I'm going to continue to say this along the lines in the podcast and in the Financial Rebellion newsletter is that there is no way that anybody makes it on their own, right? One of the phrases that I am not a fan of, it's like I kind of almost cringe and it kind of gets my stomach turning, and that is self-made. Yeah, that guy is that's a self-made woman, that's a self-made man, a self-made millionaire. And I just want to like kind of cringe, like nobody's self-made. They have
No, not
family that supported them, they have friends that encourage them, even their children have been there to support them, whatever part of their life span of starting something. Uh, God is important in my life. He's there to guide you as you reach out, as you're in valleys. Being an entrepreneur, you have deep valleys sometimes, right? And so, no one's self-made, and you have. I see on your face, and when I asked you, "Are you making good money?" You had a nice, humble smile. I love that. So back to some money stuff, though. What what was a recent dumb money move? That's what we like to do on this podcast too. Stay real. People can learn from it. What was one of your dumbest money moves that you've made so far to date?
all right. So one of my dumbest money moves kind of is tied into my smartest money move, and that
Okay.
is pulling out of Nvidia stock too early.
Oh, you
So
sold
I was
Nvidia stock.
Yeah, way too early. So I started investing into it maybe around 2021. And at that time, the price was maybe around, I don't know, maybe $100, $200. Very, very, very beneficial if I would have stayed in. I pulled out at around like $300 to $400 or something like that. So
Yeah.
if I would have just stayed in long term, even up until now, I would have been very, very, very happy, but I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good lesson to learn because you're still young, so ridiculously young. You'll just set it and forget it mindset. Fantastic. Okay, that's your dumbest money move. That's actually a pretty good dumb money move. You made money, but you're hoping you made more, so that's pretty good. All right, what's your smartest money move?
So my smart was going back into it, reinvesting back into NVIDIA because once I seen it, I pulled out and it kept going up. After like a year, I was like, you know what? Let me just, load the boat. So I kind of went all in back in NVIDIA about 2022 or 2023, and I haven't put out since. And I've made some good returns. So yeah, that was probably my
Where
smartest money
where are
move.
you what platform are you using to buy Nvidia stock?
So it started off on Robinhood, and then I
Yep.
moved on to my financial institution, my credit union's brokerage account.
Fantastic. Okay. What credit union do you use, by the way?
Oh, Navy Federal.
Navy Federal. Fantastic. So you have some military folks in your family, immediate,
Yep, my
extended.
father worked in the Navy. Yeah.
Your father was. Ah, well, thank him for his service, please. Fantastic. I love it. Those are some fun. You have like the best dumbest money move, if there is such a phrase. I just said that, but there's been others that people have like, yeah, when I just started using my credit card when I first got it at 22, and I put 3 grand on it, and I don't remember what I bought, and then I got the bill. I mean, there's all kinds of stories, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Love your story, man. All right, so for the people listening to this podcast, Financial Rebellion, we're all about not only do we have the podcast, but at financial-rebellion.com, our listeners can become a free subscriber to the weekly newsletter where we help you become smarter about money, investing, and business in less than 10 minutes a week. So, uh, with that, we go over a lot of different content that happens in the business world, the investing world, and also we even have what's called Side Hustle Differently inside the newsletter. Every week we highlight a certain area where someone can begin a side hustle, or even highlight someone who is creating a side hustle that is now turned into a full-time hustle, kind of like you. And one of the things that we're just thrilled about is that leads to people getting inspired. And what would you say, as we get close to wrapping up here, to someone listening, watching, that is just a little hesitant to go after starting just the littlest side hustle of something they enjoy doing, and how they can make money from something they enjoy doing? What would you say to those people?
Personally, I would say don't let perfect be the enemy of good. So with that being said,
Wait a minute. Say
don't
that again.
don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Love that.
Yeah, so basically, don't feel like you have to be perfect. Don't feel like everything has to be right for you just to get started. You can start off good and perfect it as you go. And throughout that process, you will learn so much more, and you will be equipped with a lot of tools that you need to be successful later on. But start off good and just continue to work on it, continue to build it up. And the perfect will come later, even if it never comes. But don't feel like you have to be perfect now just to start.
That is some serious wisdom from a 22-year-old Sincere Townsend out of Southside Chicago, now living in Phoenix. That is really good. Everybody listening knows exactly what you meant. My hands up first with launching in numerous products over the years and platforms, and wondering, it's got to be perfect. Nope, just launch the dumb thing. And so I have been 100% guilty of pursuing perfection and having it be the enemy of good. So, uh, been there, done that. Sincere, fantastic having you on. We really appreciate you taking your time. You're in Phoenix. Uh, we are so proud to have Acorns as our sponsor, Kemba Credit Union, Alabama Credit Union. You're part of Navy Federal Credit Union. I didn't even know that. We are big fans of credit unions to help younger people kind of go, what is the difference between a credit union and a bank? Or I still don't even know what a credit union is. And that's what we do too, so that people can kind of go, wait, this is different. So this is what we're all about here at Financial Rebellion. Again, thank you, Sincere, for being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
You got it. All right. That wraps up this week's episode of Financial Rebellion, and we will see you all next week. Rebels out.